Okay, so let's then start discussing. Welcome to the Checkpoint Expert Talk session. The motto of our information exchange is we tell the truth and help each other out. Just to remind you, we have 40 minutes and actually 100 participants, but I think it's way over what we would have today anyway. We have about 10. If you don't want to tell anything, stay on mute. I will keep a particular time for some Q&A session by the end of the main presentation. And if you feel like you really have to ask the question, unmute yourself and ask. So we'll be talking about rule-based match, and there's quite a few new things with R80.10. Both, most interestingly on the gateway side. And just to remind you, I wanted to show you what is about subrules. As you know, R80 and R80.10 with the gateway allows you to use new concepts of the policy that Checkpoint calls unified policy. Hold on a bit. I need to. Okay. Hello, Tomer. Nice of you to join us. We have, hold on a bit. I need to fix some things here. Okay, here we go. So we will talk about how new unified policy looks just in a few words. Then I would like to show you something that Tomer showed me the other day. Very nice way to see how a packet would be matched on the rule base without actually going to the gateway. Might be very helpful in the troubleshooting and actually making sense out of the understanding the policies. And finally, we will get to the gateway to see what really happens and what is new about enforcement of unified policy on the gateway side, which is not documented yet, but with some reverse engineering, I will be able to show you that there are some interesting things going on in the background. So unified policy, as you remember, Checkpoint introduced it with R80. Till the gateway was out, it was just its demo mods, but today you can basically use a single rule base for most of your security settings, which includes not only classic filtering, but also some particular things like application and even file types that can be controlled through the single rule base in the single match. Moreover, it also allows you to create so-called subrules. Subrules means that you can create big chunks of policy, and you can jump between these sections in a very efficient manner, which I will show you right now. So let me show you the test setup. I have a small gateway and okay. Do you hear anything? Do you see anything? I think that was the wrong one. Sorry. Okay, this one is the good one. Correct. So let me know if you don't see it. But this is the small rule base. It's Windows GUI client and also the test hosts. The policy is very simple. It has only 3 main rules. One of them allows me to control the gateway and my hosts. The second rule allows internal networks that are sitting behind the gateway to get internet access. It's the action here is, as you see, inline layer, which is called internet access, and we'll look into this later on. And there is obviously cleanup rule-based drop. So in internal access, there are quite a few rules. I wanted to create as many as I could, just to show you that basically once the first rule matched, you then can granularly control the access. And in my case, I allow the host to ping anything but Google DNS in one rule, and I have a special rule for Google DNS. Why do I need this? Because I will be using this particular rule to show you what happens on the gateway side. You can see I've made some tests here already, and just to show you again, I am able to ping the Google and from the test host, and I should be able to see new logs coming shortly. Well, it takes a bit of a time because, there are several new rules about this. But what if this policy is new to me and I wanted to see which actual rules will be matched and when? So as I said, well, first of all, you already probably know that there is a new mod to search the rule base. For example, if I want to see where one of my objects, which is my internal host, is being used, I can do this easily. And then only the rules with this particular IP address in the source will be shown. But this is not that exciting. What I want to see how my packet, so I'm pinging from the Windows to 888, and I want to see which rule this packet actually crosses. So let's see how it works. My internal host, then I need destination. I'm trying to put as many packet details as I can. So I have an object for that. Let's say I want to see which rules I will be crossing. Now, if you see here, there is packet mod. Packet mod, when it's on, allows you to see which rules could be matched to this particular packet. In the first search, I just use source and destination. So let's see what we can see here. We see quite a few rules. All of them are marked, and obviously my internet access sublayer allows a lot of different access for different services, and also the cleanup rule potentially can be matched for this connection. So let's make it a bit more interesting. We'll keep source and destination the same, but we will put also the particular service. Let's say I'm looking for the rule that allows me to ping through the rule base. I need ICMP requests. And I already know that the ping is working, so basically I want to find the rule that allows that, and obviously the action is accept. And packet mod on again will show me the particular rule. This is in the section 2, subrule 2.8, that allows me to ping some external destination. Okay, is it clear now? By the way, if you try the same without, if we try multiple parameter search without packet mod, it will not show us anything, as far as I understand. Sorry, this is the keyboard glitch. And if I just do source and destination and do packet mods on, what's going on here? Oh, basically, it does show me things. If I remove the packets on, nothing really shown. So I'm not sure if this feature is yet documented. I will let Tomer to talk about it if you like by the end of this session. But for me, it would be very nice to understand the differences between Windows host, between packet mod on and off, and to clarify that only a single parameter can be used in the search if packet mod is off. And If you've seen, it's off by default.
Sure. So you can give me like a few minutes before the end. No
problem. Sure, absolutely, Tomer. Thank you for joining, and I appreciate you being here. Okay, we actually have someone else coming in. Okay. Any questions so far? Because we are going to jump to the gateway side, which would be just a bit more interesting. So 2 points here. There is a new ability in the rule base that you probably seen already in the demos, and it's very well publicized, that allows us to create access layers where only the first rule base can be matched to get into the sublayers, or while doing the rule base search, gateway will basically jump through the chunks of the more detailed rules if the main rule is not matched. Okay, so let me switch back to my small presentation. Here we go. So let's talk about the gateway side. Before we jump to the gateway side, just to remind you quickly, one of my favorite topics is stateful inspection, actually, and try to talk about that sometime back. But if you will look on the gateway, I will show you later on, the chain models are practically the same. Well, they're exactly the same as before. However, the kernel debug models are quite different. I will show you when we get to the gateway and the demo part, but let me just remind you how Checkpoint was matching the rules before R80.10. So basically, any packet that gets to the gateway is checked with the dynamic state tables. If we have records, that means that we already have positive security decision, and then we can forward the packets with just a minimal inspection. If we don't have a record, that means that the rule base was not matched for this particular packet, and we need to find a rule that would match. We assume that this is the first package in the connection, we need to find the rule. It's a routine that goes from top to bottom, and the older 77 and below gateways, when finding the rules, we are trying to match all multiple parameters: source, destination, service, and VPN column if applicable. And if we checked all 4 parameters and at least one of them not matching, we get to the next rule. So in this particular case, if we have some accept rules down below in the rule base, it takes quite a lot of effort to get down to them because we hit the full rule base first before finding a match. Basically, sorry, my bad. Also, what happens when we look for the first connection, this is how the FWVM chain work logic looks. Basically, there is a special function in FWVM that allows us to find the rule match. FW handles the first packets, calls the subroutine that goes through the rule base and take a search, and everything else that happens before that. After that. So basically, if we go to the gateway, let's start doing things with the gateway. If we go to the gateway, hold on a bit, I need to share it again. Keyboard is not working well for me. No, that's not the right IP address, sorry. not looking good for me. Okay, so just bear with me a bit. And we need expert too, because we will be doing some advanced comments. The things I wanted to show you are like this. WCTL chain. WCTL chain shows us the standard structure of the checkpoint kernel. There is FWVM that on inbounds and outbounds that basically does a lot of things. Right. However, if we run a WCTL debug, we will see lots and lots of new software modules in the kernel. And in our particular case, if we want to understand how the packet is being matched, we usually do debug on model FW. And I didn't want to waste your time for me fiddling with this, so I made some debug for this particular connection for pinging the Google. This is the debug comments that allows me to add VM and connection flags to model FW. Interestingly enough, if I look to, well, I already know what to look for, but yeah, this one. The only information about the rule-based match I can find in this debug in this. Remember the function I mentioned you, if double handle first packets, it only returns one single string, and the string is unified rule-based returns accept. So basically from R80.10 and up, someone else is doing a rule-based match, and it's not the kernel debug model FW anymore. It gets an answer from some external model. So if you look on the models, you will see there is a model called UP that basically stands for Unified Policy. I was asking Checkpoint for quite a long time to get me some details about the debug flags, and it's still not happening, so it's a bit more cumbersome than before, but again, with some time, we're able to see a lot of things. So we will be running the same connection and with the debug on model UP. It took me a bit of a time to find the right debug parameters. I will share you with you later on, or maybe when the session is over offline. But this particular rule base is, well, this particular model is being called by model FW to start matching rule bases. If you can see, there is still our connection details that for my ping packet that crosses the firewall. Now, there is something interesting happens here. Instead of trying source, destination, service, and so forth, basically this particular subroutine starts from destination. It's there is an entry called matching column destination, and when it does kick in, it basically creates an array. Well, I think I missed a step here. Yeah, let me start from the beginning of the file. Yep, this is my entry I was looking for. So matching column destination, and when it happens, it starts building an array of the rule bases of the rules that would be matched to this particular connection detail, destination only. So, well, if you look into debug, I don't have enough time to give you the full view on this, but basically there are several routines, the several cycles that are being done here. The first one that you're looking right now is the matching on the implied rules that are sitting before the rule base. But the logic for every single cycle is exactly the same. So first, the new function is building the array of the rules that can be matched as a destination. Once it's done and there are certain elements in this array, only then and only on this list we start matching source, and we end up with the shorter list. You see here there are remove rule number 3, keep rule number 4, means that it eliminates from the array all the rule numbers that are not being matched. And once it's done, then the service application and service are being matched. And by the end of the story, let me show you how it looks. By the end of the story, it returns an answer saying we have a match, and in the brackets there is a number of the rule. In my rule base, if you remember, the inline layer is the rule number 2. So this is what it shows. It goes through the main rules and inline layers only, and then it files the match. Once it's done this, it then goes to the next cycle, and well, trust me, the logic is exactly the same. Finally, it says we have a match, and the number is different because in the sublayers, the rule that is being matched is rule number 8. Once it's done, the answer is returned back to the module of W, and then the virtual machine does what it usually does with the connection. As far as I'm concerned, the debugs on the new kernel software modules are not yet published by Checkpoint. But what we see here is quite interesting. Checkpoint doesn't do source destination service match rule by rule. It goes through the destination, matches, makes an array, gets through the source on the chosen rule only, eliminates the ones that are not matched, and only then gets to the services and applications. In my case, it's very simple because I use services and not application in the column services and application. If it would be an application of some kind, then there would be even more interesting. The unified policy would return conditional match and would wait for a handshake to be fulfilled to get the fingerprints on the application. Okay, so with this new logic, there are several interesting things. First of all, if you have a rule base that is not optimized and is quite long, and some of the rules which are usually matched for your traffic are deep down below, the rule-based search for new connection should be working faster. On the other hand, if you have fully optimized rule base and all your frequently used rules are at the top, I think with this logic it will take a bit more effort to find the rule, because the firewall still tries to get through the rule base by destination only, then adding source, and then adding services and application. And in my view, it will take a bit of drawback if we're talking about optimized rule-based policies. Okay, gentlemen, that was everything that I wanted to show you. If you have any questions, that would be a good time. I would ask Tomer to add some words if he feels like it right now, and then we get to the Q&A if you have any questions.
Yeah, so just a few words about the rule-based search on the GUI application. If you can bring the screen back.
Yes, sure. I'm doing it right now.
So first of all, my name is Tomer, and I'm a technology leader at Security Management Checkpoint. So this lecture, it started as just me checking how people present our stuff, which is always good to have. But then I learned quite a lot about how the gateway works, because that's not the place where I'm usually at. So very informative, Valerie. Thank you very much. So one thing you had about the search is that there's the packet mode, and then there's the one with the packet mode off. So you wanted to ask, why do we need the off mode?
No, the off mode is the older, if I understand correctly, this is the old text-based search through the rule base,
Exactly.
similar to what we had before. It's just my feedback was that it is not really clear that with packet mode off, you cannot put multiple parameters. At least for me.
Pretty sure you can put you can put multiple parameters.
Okay, well, let's try again, because I showed it already. Okay, and so I think I've been showing you in the private session as well, but we can do it again. If I put source and destination here, hoping something is definitely wrong with my keyboards. Okay, if we do it like this, search doesn't really show me anything. This is a packet mode off. So,
then it's because you don't have an object with the name 8.8.8.8.
Okay.
I mean, if you wrote,
okay.
Exactly.
Well, let's try this.
Well, it depends if it's in the same rule.
Still
right?
Nothing. Well, yeah. I think it actually waits for some maybe logical.
You can put an or.
Something is broken here for me, to be honest.
Like you're saying, you couldn't go back to type the word or?
That also, but I'm talking more about logic. So let's take this one. If I put and, will it show me anything? Okay, let's try it like this, and still nothing.
Yeah, but then do you even have Google DNS in the destination in one of the rules here?
Correct. Yes, I do. And I've shown that over here.
Where? Oh, in the
this particular rule. So something is not working here.
So the thing is that because you type the and this is like text search, then you master VM is on rule number 1 and Google DNS is on rule 2.8. So I guess if you want to find both of them, then I guess you should put or between the source and the destination.
I just put and well, I'll try it offline and I'll let you know.
Okay,
we have 10 more minutes to run, and I still want to give guys the chance to ask the questions. Would it be okay with everybody? If there are no questions, we can continue with Tomer, but anybody who wants to ask a question here, now is a chance. Okay, that is awkward silence here. Team, okay. Is it clear enough for you?
Destination Google DNS, I bet you'd get a hit not in packet mode. I would think.
If I do destination only or source only, or
no, I think when you're not in packet mode, it looks like it's doing a literal match on the object name and IP, and it's not going to match against any. So try a source of any in your search field. So src any, and then destination of Google DNS, and yes, I bet you'll get a match for that.
Yeah, you were on mute, by the way.
Yeah, sorry.
I mute you, but this is what I did already, unless I.
Because I think it's. No, make the source any. Source any.
Okay.
Actually, make src.
I don't have to make source any because I can answer.
Well, if you want more than one expression, I think you're going to need to. If I'm understanding, so just try it for giggles.
Any. I'm not sure. Okay, let's.
Yeah,
Need
Tim is right.
space.
Hopefully this should, that's
Yeah.
like the product specification.
Yeah, because I think when you
Okay, let's
don't have
see.
packet mode on, it's looking for a literal match. Yeah,
Okay.
see,
Yeah.
that's why. Whereas
And then it even does the negate stuff, right? Where in
yeah,
packet
and then in packet mode, it basically says, okay, we're not doing a literal match now. It's does it fall within the range of any or whatever the object is?
Okay, that
I
makes sense.
feel. Yeah.
I'm still waiting to see an official document that would explain the functionality. And how
So
to
hopefully it's in the admin guide, but yeah, we should definitely have something shorter that's like really precise to how this thing works.
Okay. What about the gateway, Tim?
Yeah, that seemed pretty good. You know, I did in my max power addendum, I did say try to avoid using any in your destination as long as you can in your policy layers, because that's the first thing checked. I suspected it was also looking at source and service, and you were able to confirm that. Yeah, that's definitely an interesting capability that they're trying to avoid the whole top-down first fit matching. They're trying to you know, in my addendum, I said there's rules we can skip over and start top-down first fit matching later, rather than always starting at rule 1. So that pretty much correlates with everything I had in my addendum. And I'm working with a very limited amount of data as well as you are, Val, because there's really no documentation. I called it columnar matching or column-based matching.
Right. One more interesting thing about the gateway that in the unified policy actually see several cycles, as I said, the implied rules before the rule base, then the rule base, then something else, and also there is additional cycle for inline layer if it's been matched. So it's quite elaborate work done there. Much more intelligent search, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an improvement, that's for sure, especially for bigger policies, and can definitely save CPU processing on the worker cores in the firewall path when you're having a match in your policy layers. I mean, here you gave a demo of it occurring, it looks like at the network layer, although you're using a unified layer. And the answer I got was that it can happen in any kind of layer. These arrays being built, it can happen in threat prevention, it can happen in the access control layers. It pretty much goes on everywhere. And it looks like source, destination, service are the only 3 that are looked at. So that's kind of interesting.
Okay, we have 12 participants, 11 without myself. Any other question, guys? Okay.
Hello, Tim. Please.
Yes, this is Tim.
He actually used the argument and actually was supposed to provide both answers, even though the 2 objects are not on the same rule. So when he used the and for the Windows host and the Google server, he was supposed to have, I think, both answers with the argument and. So I don't think that the issue he raised has been, at least you should clarify a bit on that.
Yes, I will. I have a question from Darren in the chat. The question is, does anyone have R80.10 rolled out in a sizable environment? And is it going smoothly? Well, I don't have, to be honest. Customers in Europe are very, very conservative. I hope Tim can answer something.
Yeah, I actually am going to be upgrading a client to R80.10 next week on the gateway. And the reason that they're going to R80.10 is they need, there's a TLS patch for transport layer security. They want to turn off TLS 1.0, and that's not currently possible prior to R80.10. If you turn off TLS 1.0 with the mobile access blade, it basically causes the mobile access blade portal to stop working. So that's the driver, is apparently that fix is in R80.10 that you can actually turn off TLS 1.0, and it's for an audit requirement. So I have one next week that I'll be doing. So I'll let you know how it goes, but outside the lab, no, I do not have anybody running R80.10 gateway yet.
Yeah, I think, Darren, it's too early to say that. Well, probably Checkpoint has some big deployments. I would assume Checkpoint EA to be done partially on the customer.
Yeah, so am I the only Checkpoint person
yes,
in this
you
list?
Are. Yes, you are.
So the EA program, both for the management and the gateways, for R80 and R80.10 has been rolling for, I think, over a year now, and some of those customers are large customers. So yeah, we do have some references, but I guess if we want to be more specific, then I can get someone to go back to you.
Okay,
but we have stations using R80.10 in production, large customers, huge policies, gateways included.
Okay, thank you very much, Tomer. We still have 2 minutes before the meeting is over. 2 minutes and counting down. I guess not. Okay, that was very quick because we are still running on the free account on Zoom. If we have any financial support, we could extend this somewhat later on. But anyway, thank you very much for joining me today. Okay, SMS upgrade can be done from CPUs. Yes, it has to be done from CPUs as far as I'm concerned. I haven't seen any MDM upgrades yet, but I would assume that MDM is also upgradable from CPUs. I have to stop the meeting now. Thank you very much, guys. If you have any questions, you know how to find me. Send it to me offline and I will be answering them in the blog. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you around.
Thanks, Val.